Stop me if you've heard this before. I'd love to start a newsletter, but I don't have time. I'm not an expert. I don't know what to write about. Right? You feel me? Does that sound familiar? Ladies and gentlemen, here is your permission slip to ignore all that. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to show you how AI can turn your parenting experience into newsletter gold and why being a busy parent makes you the perfect newsletter creator. Are you ready to stop making excuses and start making money? Stay tuned because we're about ready to fire up the C.A.R system, C-A.R. It's going to be your roadmap to newsletter freedom. What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my dark horse friends and family? Welcome back to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur, where busy parents turn limited time into unlimited potential. I am your humble host, Tracy Brinkmann. And if you're tired of choosing between family time and financial freedom, you are in the right place. Look, I get it. You're juggling things like school pickups and work deadlines, and somehow you're trying to squeeze in a shower somewhere, let alone trying to build a side hustle. But here's what I've learned after helping so many parent entrepreneurs just like you. Your biggest limitation might be your greatest advantage. So today, we're going to start something special. This is going to be a 3-part series that's going to change how you think about newsletters. We're not talking about yesterday's newsletters and how it changes your thought about AI and what's possible when you stop waiting for that perfect time and start creating with the time that you have. Okay, so today we're starting this 3-part series, and it's called the C.A.R framework, and it's C.A.R, which stands for Create, Authority, and Reach. I want you to think of this as your GPS to newsletter success, but instead of getting you to the grocery store, it's getting you to some financial freedom. So in the first episode, the one you're listening to right now, we're going to be building the engine of your C.A.R, your newsletter foundation, using AI tools that will do all the heavy lifting while you focus on what matters most. We're going to be covering 3 critical pieces. First, how to identify exactly who you are going to be serving without spending hours and hours doing market research. We've talked about this before. For a quick little reminder, we're going to be in this one. Second, how to find your authentic voice in about 5 minutes. Yeah, really, 5 minutes. And third, how to create a content framework that practically will write itself. By the end of this episode, you'll have everything you need to launch your newsletter this week. That's a pretty big promise, right? No more someday when I have time promises here. We're going to be making it happen within the time that you have right now. So grab a cup of coffee, whatever your favorite beverage is, and let's fire up your C.A.R. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into the first piece of your newsletter foundation, and that is, and so many people miss this, identifying your target audience. And we don't want this to be some super huge audience that's massive out there. Trust me, you can make a lot of money with a very small audience. And I did the same thing. I made the same mistake way back when I started this podcast. I wanted to talk to all the entrepreneurs that are out there. That's a big ocean. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to save you from the biggest mistake that most people are making, trying to help everyone like I did, right? And I got lucky. I was able to muddle through it. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a certified expert to have all those letters behind your name or some fancy degree to have a valuable newsletter. You just need to be one step ahead of someone else. And as a parent, you are already out there solving problems every single day that other parents are still struggling with. Heck, this just could be a passion project for you. I know a young lady right now that is enamored with boxers. So she has a newsletter specifically about boxers, not just animal lovers, not just dog lovers, but boxers. Yeah. Now, I want to call this the parent pain point moment. Good. Remember, I mentioned you're out there already solving problems inside your parental world every single day that some of your other parent friends and strangers are still struggling with. So that's what I want to call the parent pain point method. Think about it. Maybe you've figured out how to meal prep for a family of 4 within 30 minutes. Maybe you've cracked the code on getting your kids to do their homework without it being World War III. Or maybe you've just learned how to squeeze a workout between school drop-off and that first Zoom call of the day. Whatever it is, trust me, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of parents that are out there who are willing to pay really good money to learn what it is you have already figured out. The key is getting specific on who those people are, okay? Now, here's where I think AI research becomes your secret weapon. Instead of you having to go out there and spend weeks doing market research, spending thousands and probably tens of thousands of dollars, trust me, I've done it in the past, you can use ChatGPT to generate audience research prompts, or Claude, really good at this, to help you develop detailed personas. But first, you need to give these tools something to work with. And to do that, I want to give you something called the coffee shop test. Here's what I want you to do. Pause for a minute. If you're driving, keep your focus on the road, but let your mind wander just for a second. Imagine that you're sitting at your favorite coffee shop and you overhear a conversation between two parents at another table. They're complaining about something. What would they be saying? As you just kind of lean over a little bit and listen to them. What are they talking about? What struggles are they having? What is keeping them up at night? What are they frustrated about as they chat to one another? Maybe it's, I never find time to exercise, or my kids just won't eat anything healthy. Or maybe it's, I have no idea how to save for college. Yeah. Write down what it is you think they're talking about. Don't filter it. Just let your brain dump out onto the paper all the thoughts that you hear those two over there conversing about. Maybe it was you a few days ago sitting there with your friend. What were you complaining about? What were they complaining about? Once you have this list written down, pick up the top 2 or 3 problems that you have personally solved within your world, within your life. Or maybe you're currently actively working on them, right? That is going to be your sweet spot because that's where your expertise meets their desperation. That, my friend, is where profitable newsletters are born. Remember, you're not trying to be something to everyone out there. Remember, my friend, but the boxers, they're not trying, no, just boxers. You're trying to be that perfect solution for someone specific. The more specific you are, the more valuable you become. All right, now that you know who you're talking to, let's figure out how you're going to start talking to them. Sounds simple, right? Because here's the truth. People don't just subscribe to newsletters for information. They can just Google that shit, right? How do I do this? They subscribe for the personality. They subscribe for that connection. They're looking for that voice that resonates with who they are inside, with how they think, with the struggles they're going through. They're looking for that voice that makes them say, they get me. Yeah. And as parent entrepreneurs, we have a huge advantage. We're authentic by necessity. We don't have time for all this fake shit, all these fake personalities and all that corporate speak. I don't have time for that. And if you do, you probably won't be on this podcast much longer because I don't. And I probably won't resonate with you as a result of that. We, my friends, are real people dealing with real shit, real chaos, and that authenticity is pure gold within the newsletter world, heck, within the business world as a whole. I've identified the 3 main parent entrepreneur archetypes, and chances are you'll recognize yourself as one of these folks, whether this is the first episode you're listening to or the 100th, and we're 516 episodes into this podcast. First, there's the motivator. Yeah, that's the parent who sees the silver lining in every damn thing that's out there. While all the other parents are out there complaining about school pickups, you're turning that into a productivity hack. You naturally encourage others. You help them by seeing the possibilities they didn't even realize existed. I want you to think about someone like Tony Robbins, only with juice boxes and soccer cleats, right? Okay. Number 2, there's the mentor. Yep. That's the parent everyone comes to for advice. You've been there, you've done that, and you love sharing what you've learned. Mess and all, right? Warts and all. You're practical and experienced. You have this gift for breaking down complex problems into a couple of simple steps. Maybe it's many simple steps, but you're able to break it down into simple steps. You're like that wise Gandalf friend who always knows exactly what to say. And number 3, the rebel. You recognize yourself in any of these? Oh, I haven't told you what the rebel is. Well, the rebel is that parent who questions every damn thing that is out there and isn't afraid to do things a little differently. Heck, they're not afraid to do things a lot differently. You homeschool when everyone says you're crazy. You start a business when everyone says you need to wait till the kids are older, and you challenge conventional wisdom just to show others that there is another way, just to show yourself maybe. You're the permission giver for all the other parents so they can go out there and break the rules. Right? You're one of those 3, aren't you? I can feel you nodding your head. My magic headphones are signaling to me now. Now, here's where AI can step in and help you refine and maintain your voice, because that's what they want. They don't just want your information. They want your voice, your heart, your soul, everything you can give. And you can use ChatGPT to analyze your writing and identify your natural tone patterns. And you can use something like Jasper to help you stay consistent across all of your content. All right? But first, you need to capture your authentic voice. So here's your 5-minute voice finder exercise. I want you to grab your phone and record yourself explaining the biggest parenting win that you've had. I don't want it to be your most impressive achievement out there where you stand up and say, yeah, I did that. I want it to be your most authentic victory, whatever it is. Maybe it's finally getting your toddler to sleep through the night, or convincing your teenager to actually sit down and have a real conversation with you. Whatever it is, go ahead and record a 5-minute explanation of that huge parenting win. And here's what I want you to do while you're doing that. Talk like you're telling your best friend. You know that one person that's in your life that you tell that person right there. That's what I'm talking about. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about being polished or professional. Just be you. And when you play it back, listen to how naturally you explain everything. Do you use humor? Do you use direct and no nonsense language? Do you tell stories? That recording that you just did, that's your newsletter voice. The magic happens when you stop trying to sound like everyone else that's out there and start amplifying who you are inside. Your voice will be your competitive advantage because no one else can be you. All right, you ready? Now, you know who you're serving and you found your voice. Now let's build that framework that's going to make your newsletter completely irresistible. And more importantly, sustainable for your crazy parent schedule. I know you're sitting there thinking, wait a minute, another thing I need to do? No, I want to introduce you to what I call the Naptime newsletter format. Here's the deal. Your readers, they're going to be just as busy as you are. Heck, they might be more busy than you are. They don't want to have you drop a novel into their email inbox. They want something that they can consume, bing, bang, boom, in the time it takes for their coffee to cool down, maybe even quicker. So we're talking about weekly newsletters here that are story-driven and designed to be read in 3 minutes or less. Why weekly, you may ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because it's sustainable for you to create and predictable for them to expect. Why story-driven? There goes my magic headphones once again. I can hear the question in your head. Because stories stick. People often forget facts. They're like, oh, what was it they said? It's worth what? No, but they remember how you make them feel when you tell them a story. So here's where AI comes into play with your content creation and turning it into your superpower. You can use ChatGPT to generate content calendars for months in advance, or Notion AI to organize your thoughts if you already have a bunch of them out there, and keep everything streamlined. But the magic happens when you combine AI efficiency with your authentic stories. Let me give you a template that is going to change everything for you. Let's call this the Monday Morning Magic. This is a 4-part structure. It's called problem, story, solution, action. And here's how it works. You start with a problem that your audience faces, something specific and something relatable. Maybe it's, I never have time to exercise. Well, then you tell a story. Better yet, you tell your story. Maybe a client's story, something that illustrates this problem in action. Maybe it's about the time they tried to do yoga while their toddler used them as a jungle gym. Next comes the solution, not some theoretical whitewashed advice, but something practical that actually worked and still works. Maybe you discovered micro workouts during commercial breaks. Yeah, how about that? You have found a way to turn playground time into your workout time. You're taking the kids to the playground, you get a little workout at the same time. Finally, you end with action. One specific thing they can do this week. Think about Whiskered Wisdom that I drop into these podcast episodes. Yeah, see, that's how these things work. Not 10 things, not 9 things, not 5 things, not 2 things, one thing. Right? We're not here to do a complete life overhaul. No, you create your own version of the Whiskered Wisdom with one thing. This week, try doing squats while your kids brush their teeth. Boom, there it is. Okay. The beauty of this framework is that it works for any topic, any audience, with any voice. So whether you're the motivator dropping inspiring action, or the mentor sharing whiskered wisdom, or you're the rebel that's out there challenging assumptions, this structure keeps you focused and keeps your readers engaged. And here's the parent entrepreneur secret sauce I want to drop for you. Your stories are everywhere. Every parenting challenge you've overcome, every small victory that you've celebrated, even the aha moment that you've had, that, my friend, is content gold. You're not running out of material. You're living it every single day. So every single day is chock full of story opportunities. The key is consistency. Same time, same day, same format. Your readers should know that every Monday morning, they're getting their dose of Monday morning magic from you. That predictability builds trust, and trust builds income. That brings us to my favorite part of this podcast, the Whiskered Wisdom. And this is where I distill everything down that we've just covered into one thing, that one actionable nugget that you can take to the bank. And here's your AI-powered Whiskered Wisdom for today. Your newsletter isn't competing with the New York Times. What are you talking about, Tracy? Let me tell you. Hold on. It's competing with the chaos inside that reader's inbox. So you need to make it personal, you need to make it useful, and you need to make it feel like a text from their most successful friend, their most beloved friend, even. Think about it. When you open your phone and see a text from your best friend who's always had this amazing advice, you read that first. Heck, you probably read that immediately, right? Yeah, that's the energy you want to be going for. Not corporate, not perfect, not polished to death. Just real, helpful, and genuine caring in your newsletter. Your readers do not need yet another expert talking down to them from on high on some white pedestal. No, they need a fellow parent or whoever you represent to them who has figured out something that they're still struggling with and who's willing to share it in a way that feels like a conversation over coffee. So when you're creating your content, ask yourself this: would I text this to my best friend? And if the answer is yes, then man, you're on the right track. If it sounds like a press release, dial up the humanity and dial down the corporate speak. Yes, please do that. Remember, in a world of AI generated everything, your authentic voice and your real experiences are, in fact, your competitive advantage. Use AI to amplify your voice because it's never going to replace it. On that same note, though, if you're ready to turn strategies like this into your AI escape plan, because look, here's the thing. I could talk about creating newsletters and courses and et cetera, all day long. But the real magic, the real honest to God magic happens when you see these tactics in action. That's exactly why I created the Dark Horse Insider newsletter. This is where I deliver the latest AI powered tips and strategies right into your inbox. Not yesterday's news, no recycled content from 5 years ago, just fresh tactics for transforming your side hustle into your main hustle. Heck, maybe you need to find your side hustle first before you can even turn it into your main hustle. So whether you're starting off from scratch, restarting after life got in the way, or kickstarting your dreams that you have been putting off, this newsletter is your ally. I test every strategy, I teach and share the real results, wins and failures. That's important because some of us are trying things and are like, shit, this doesn't work. I'm in there. Okay, I'll show you that and show you exactly how to adapt the wins and the failures into your busy parent life. Plus, you get some behind the scenes access to the AI tools and the prompts I'm using to build my own newsletter empire. I'm going to be sharing in this next 3-episode strategy, but there's way more behind this. So consider it your weekly dose of here's what's actually working right now newsletter. Head to the link down in the show notes and join the parent entrepreneurs who are already building their escape plans, one email at a time. But before you go, I want you to remember one thing. Every newsletter empire out there started with a single subscriber. You. Yours is going to start the same way. Every successful parent entrepreneur started exactly where you are right now, wondering if it could work, wondering if they could make it work. The difference between those who make it and those who didn't isn't talent. It isn't time, and it's certainly not luck. It's taking that first step when it feels really, really scary, even when it feels impossible. Next week, in episode 517, we're going to be building your authority engine. That's the system that's going to turn strangers into subscribers and subscribers into customers. We're going to dive into the welcome sequences you're going to want in your newsletter, content calendars, scratch the surface a little bit here. We're going to go a little deeper, and the monetization strategies that actually will work for you busy parents. But for now, your homework is simple. Pick your audience, find your voice, and choose your framework. Don't overthink it. Don't try to perfect it. Just start it. Remember, you're not just building a newsletter, you're building your family's freedom. Until then, think successfully and take action.